With warmer temperatures hopefully on their way, it's time you can start growing those vegetables in the garden, but not all can start outside just yet.
7 and 4's Alyssa Heron joins us live from Plant Masters in Suttons Bay to share some tips on when you can start planting those veggies inside and outside your house. Good morning, Alyssa.
Good morning, Brendan and Melissa. Joining me is Eric Van Thum, and this week we're talking veggies. So the temperatures have been, up and down. What kind of vegetables can go out in the garden just yet?
Well, anybody that's out there this morning is going to realize it got a little cold last night, so it's getting kind of early, but we're getting closer every day. If you started some things inside, there are a few things that can go out right now. If we look over here, we have onions, peas, lettuces, broccolis, strawberries. Those things can go out right now.
Okay, and if people did start to plant things outside already, what are the types of vegetables that shouldn't be out, and what should they do if they did put them out?
Well, we had, close to 90 degrees. Got a lot of people got motivated and started putting out tomatoes and peppers, vine crops, all your cucumbers and squashes. Those hopefully were covered last night. It's a little early for those guys.
Okay, so we want to wait on those, but if you do want to get a head start on those, we're talking about containers as well today. So tell me what we can do with containers.
Container gardening is a great way to go if you don't have a lot of garden space. You might as well go ahead and do that now because most containers aren't too big and we get another cold night, you can bring them in. Here is a mixture of herbs and lettuces, even a little bit of pansies in there for color. These things will stay in these containers all summer long on your deck, and again, if it's going to be 50 or less by 9 p.m., expect a frost, so get these inside.
Okay, and then let's talk about fertilizers. What kind of fertilizers do you suggest that people use? You were kind of telling me a good trick earlier.
Well, if you're doing a garden bed of vegetables, use an organic-based fertilizer. On your containers, I like to use a water-soluble fertilizer, and the way I think of it is a plant that's in a container is like a fish in a bowl. It's dependent on everything you give it, so you need to give that a good dose of fertilizer. The garden vegetables and flowers, they're like a fish out in the lake. They'll find food, but maybe supplement it a little bit with some compost or organic-based fertilizers.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and all of this information and more will be on our website at UpNorthLive.com. Reporting live in Leelanau County, Alyssa Heron, 7 and 4 News.
Thanks a lot, Alyssa. We need all the help we can get. My thumbs are not very green.
Mine aren't either, and I wish that I knew more about the planning and when it's the right time and whatnot. So it's nice that we have this segment with Plant Masters and hopefully get some more information in just a few minutes as Alyssa continues to chat with them this morning.
Plus, coming up, we're going to share how you can plant your very own herb garden and which fertilizer is best to use. This and more after the break. You're watching 7 and 4 News today.
Good morning, Alyssa.
Good morning, Brendan and Melissa. Joining me again is Eric Van Thum, and today we're talking about herbs and vegetables. And first of all, with this weather that we've had right now, some warm days, some cold days, what types of vegetables can we put outside, and what ones should we wait on still?
Sure. Well, again, if you got up early this morning, you see it got a little frosty, but that's okay. It's not too cold for peas, lettuce, onions, strawberries, some of those things. They can go out now. They can take a light frost. But if you want to get a jump on some of those more tender things, some of the tender herbs and basils and things, let's put together a nice container. We can do a lovely mix right in this pot, put it right out on the deck in the sun, and then we get one of those frosts again. Move it inside the garage or the house, keep it warm. Okay, so first of all, I want you to talk about the fertilizer and the soil and what you had a good trick for that. Yep, when we're doing container gardening, start with fresh soil and look at a container as a fish bowl. You put a plant in this bowl, the only food or nutrition it's going to get is what you provide it. So you need to use a good quality fertilizer. I like the Jack's Classic water soluble, and you're going to want to feed that about every third or fourth time you water.
Okay, and then if it's in the garden, you can stick with...
Yeah, if it's in the garden, I like to use compost and organic fertilizers.
All right, so we have a few herbs set out in front of us, so kind of walk me through this and what's best to place in our containers right now.
Well, we picked out some mint. Maybe you like to do a mojito. We've got
nice.
Some parsley.
Oh, this is the mint.
Yeah, get that mint there.
All right, we'll put that in there.
Summertime.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
And you'd be surprised how good mint is in lemonade, too. So,
oh, yeah.
And that'll just keep bearing. You just pluck those leaves off through the summer.
Okay.
Let's do some basil.
Some basil.
Yeah, some basil.
That smells amazing. Where should we put that?
Yeah, put it right in there. Get them fingers in there.
Okay.
And some parsley. You can see that there's not a real science to this. You want to just kind of give them all a little bit of room. Try not to damage the roots too much.
And then another interesting thing you were telling me about these herb gardens is we can place some marigolds. Okay.
Yes, marigolds. they're going to add a nice shot of color to it. And bugs hate marigolds, rabbits and deer hate marigolds. So it's a little bit of nature's defense there, keep some of those critters out of there. Anywhere we can kind of steer away from using chemicals, the better off we are.
Okay. And then now, can people keep these containers or these herbs in the containers all summer long, or should they plant them in their garden?
No, this container here is plenty large enough to leave these herbs in here all summer. Again, fertilize them once in a while, give them a good sunny spot. Keep them damp. Don't want to get them too soggy, but they'll last all summer. You just pick right out of it. Put it next to the grill where it's handy.
Yes, sounds amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us again this morning. And all of this information and more will be on our website at UpNorthLive.com. Reporting live in Leelanau County, Alyssa Heron, 7 and 4 News.
Thanks, Alyssa. I never knew deer and rabbits hate marigolds. Learned something
But
new
now
today.
you know. So in case you decide to plant that garden, Brendan, you're going to be prepared.
I live in an apartment. I don't have any
Well,
room to plant a
you
garden, but
never
in
know.
case I move, yeah.
Never say never.